ASMR or what?
No.
The Nerd Chat, an Xbox podcast.
Is a podcast celebrating all things gaming, food, and the good old days.
Hosted by a group of best friends. If you'd like to find out more, visit nerdchatmedia.com.
This is Cortana. And remember, don't make a girl a promise if you know you can't keep it. As always, Spartans, see you online.
Dang it, I just spilled this delicious Baja Chipotle sauce on my pants. Oh, hello. Daddy D. Wally here, and welcome to The Nerd Chat, an Xbox podcast celebrating all things gaming, food, and the good old days. We are recording live on August 15th, 2024, and the greatest time zone of them all, Mountain Time. It's true.
Mountain Standard.
Tonight we're going to be talking about Tango Gameworks is coming back to make HiFi Rush 2.
Whoa!
Halloween is getting its own Unreal 5 engine game. Chipotle Bear is getting Christmas early, and The Witcher 4 is not going to star Geralt. I never liked his name or his voice. Joining me as always, by the way,
hot news topic not end up in the doc that you guys spent a lot of time talking about.
I don't know, add it to the notes. Before we get started, Bubba Boy and I were just on, as you can see, we were just on Project X Talk. Shout out to Kevin Ainsworth over there. Had a fantastic time. Next time you boys will have to join us. Sorry you couldn't be there. Just wanted to shout out Kevin. Had a blast over there. So we're going back to back. Bubble Boy and I this is going to be intense. So joining me as always is Chipotle Bear. Chipotle Bear, how are you?
I'm good, man. It's today was official first day back with students in the building. It was freshman orientation, so only a quarter of our students, but a very busy day nonetheless. Honestly, though, man, great vibes in the school. We always say in the summer, like it's very peaceful, but it's also uneasy. Like we like when there's life in the building. So it's been great to be back. And then shout out to my wife who unfortunately got the COVID. So she's doing okay hanging in there, but she's also starting school. So that's really rough for her, which is a bummer. But other than that, excited to talk about some games. It's been a fun week of gaming. And despite the busy start of the year, excited for what's coming in the next couple of weeks, man.
Joining me as always as well is X. Wait, he said, give PlayStation some good games to play. X Bacon Gaming, feeling the console wars.
That was
the Twitter streets.
That was the
always.
topic. That's the topic that somehow didn't make it into our doc. The biggest news of the week, and it's not in the doc. Anyways, I agree. Let's give PlayStation some good games because they only have Concord, and Concord's bad. So let's give them something fun to play.
And like I mentioned earlier, Bubble Boy was just on Project X Talk. Ooh, here we go. Hot take. Fruity Pebbles Waffles have changed his life. Bubble Boy and 7.
Yeah, and gosh, I hope we have time. I know it's usually only a 90-minute show. My review for them is probably gonna last anywhere from like 3.5 to 4.5 hours. Because I will hit on every sense from touch, taste, smell, sight, and sound. And hopefully they will change your life too for the better.
If you can find them.
All right.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct.
And shout out to number one Nerd Chat Vanessa House. She's been pulling an all-nighter on all kinds of shows tonight. Shout out to Nessa. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, sorry we couldn't talk to you. I was going to try to comment on every one of your comments in X Talk, but I didn't want to take over too much over there. So shout out to Nessa Howard. Speaking of shout outs to Polly Bear, let's jump into Nerd Chat shout outs. I don't know where to start here.
Just pick one.
Oh, Game Positive. Speaking of, wrote in, boys, I don't know why on our last episode, but I've got a 102.3 fever, and I'm about to put the Nerd Chat on and drift away. GG's, fellas. To sleep. I'm not dying. LOL. Is this a positive shout out, or
I mean, I think it's
putting us on to sleep? pass out from the fever.
Maybe we got him sick. Who knows?
I didn't know if he was joking, and so I wrote back, it sounds like someone needs more cowbell. I hope he didn't take that offensively.
Oh, I see
More
what you're
cowbell.
saying. Okay. A boomer reference right there. Shout out to Todd Oxtra. Todd wrote, we've got a few things to address with Todd. First one, Todd sent us an article relating to the best food, but I figured we'd throw it in right here. Taco Bell is bringing back 5 fan favorite menu items from the past 50 years. And that includes the tostada, the green burrito, the Mexamelt, the beef gordita supreme, and the caramel apple empanada.
That's
Again, I haven't been to a Taco Bell in over a year now at this point. So
Absolutely
years.
terrible. Somebody boot him.
Save yourself.
You
the
got
pain
Todd.
and
I'm
don't go
sorry.
back.
I mean, I used to love Taco Bell, and now I'm just like, clearly I can live without it. So, boys, take it away for Todd's.
Well, I'm happy to, because it was funny. The second I saw this, I was like, well, obviously we're gonna have to start the show with this. And Todd was right there with me, knew exactly where our heart is at, because it was already in there, right? Like of course this was gonna be there. They're not my favorite things. I am very excited about the caramel apple empanada. That was a staple. I know we've rightfully so given Jose years worth of grief for thinking that the Cinna twists are even halfway decent. They're the worst thing on the planet. This will hopefully just get rid of Cinna twists, and they could just keep the caramel apple empanada
Why?
the whole time.
Why do we have to get rid of things? Why can't we just keep all the secret menus?
Because
You know
nobody
what?
likes
Too much
it.
You know what?
shelf space.
I'm right there with Bubba Boy. Every time I get the Cinnamon Twist, I'm like, this is going to be good. And then I'm like, why did I get these? I just want a churro. I
And
just
they're
want one
so
of those.
dry.
No, they don't make charros.
How did you do that? Churros.
The green burrito, though, I used to get those way back in the day. I believe.
Dude, I don't think I've had any of these Bubble Boy except for
So-
the Gordita Crunch, right?
I want to say it was Ray Mariyama who was like, I was like, bean burrito, red or bean burrito, and he's like, do you want red or green chili? I was like, what are you talking about? It's bean burrito. I want to just give me a bean burrito, like the 59-cent one. Which brings me to my next point. I will be very interested to know how much each of these items cost.
$10.59.
The article that was linked here isn't the one that I found. The one that I found also didn't have the prices. If that burrito isn't $1.39 at most, I'm going to be upset.
Yeah, I'll chime in. So I've had quite a few of these. I did not have the beef gordita supreme, although it looks like a chalupa, if I'm being super honest with you. I've had green bean burritos. They've been around forever. You can actually you could get them now. You just have to ask for them. They're like not on the menu. And I know that because my younger brother used to work at Taco Bell way back in the day, and that's what he loved was green bean burritos, and that's how I learned about them. I got to be honest, and I even had Taco Bell this week. We'll talk about that later. I'm not super thrilled about this option. Like I guess it's cool they're bringing back stuff.
Taco
but
Bell's overrated, Jose. You're right.
It's not overrated. It is overpriced. There is a difference. And it's
very
not
overpriced.
It's not that I don't think that the food is tasty. I do. It's that I'm blown away that like the equivalent of 3 tacos is like $15. And I'm not saying that like I'm not willing to pay money for good food, and it's fine, but it is not $15 food. It's just not. Like I'm sorry. And you know, Yum Brands, I love most of your work, to be honest with you, but this is absolutely ridiculous. I agree with Chance of the 5, the caramel apple empanada is solid. I can only have like half of one. They're just like a little too sweet in my old age. I'll tell you, there's only one item in all of Fooddom that the Nerd Chat actually wants to come back from the dead, and it is the McSnack wrap.
McSnack wrap. Where are my snack wraps?
I don't need anything else. You do it. I'll even pay $5 for one.
Yes,
I don't
those are
care.
worth $15. Am I right, Jose?
Absolutely. That is the only thing that I want to come back, man. That's what I will say. Bacon.
Man.
Well, I also agree the empanada is fire. But my first job in high school, have any of you been to a Taco Time? It's a Nevada thing and a Utah thing. Well, that was my first gig in high school, was Taco Time. I put in like 3 years of
Mine was Subway.
labor. And our menu is way better than anything at Taco Bell. But I can't find one out here, so I just got to deal with it. I won't be eating any of this even though I do love
Because
the
you don't want to
McDonald's.
spend $40.
It's absurd. I mean, I can go to McDonald's and get the hot apple pie, and it's almost as good. And hot
You're
apple
not
pie
wrong.
is fire. So,
I think Todd just has this. He's obsessed with Taco Bell. Can we just say that? Like, I really do think he
fall
loves,
into
which is
being
fine.
I don't know how he's going to put his kids through college if
Which
he's
is fine.
eating Taco Bell all the time.
Yeah, his son.
It's absurdly expensive.
Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Todd. Todd wrote as Secret Friends Unite. He said, "Ola, you're a snob." Thanks, Todd. Appreciate that. Mexa Melt is amazing. And Cinnamon Crispas was the best. I have no idea what that is. Deja Vu said, "I remember the cinnamon twist being so good, but that was a long time ago." Chili cheese burrito was my go-to, but I don't think they're around anymore either. Can you still request those, Jose, or no?
No, you can't. They don't have.
You could for a while. You could for now. Those back in middle school, you bet your ass I was eating like 5 of those a day.
Like a Frito burrito.
Oh my
Burrito
gosh!
burrito.
Long live the chili cheese burrito. Shout out to Deja Vu. Shout out to Nissa. Nissa said that Taco Bell is better than Taco John's. Never heard of Taco John's.
Probably like Taco Time.
Oh, I was going to ask.
Is that an
Greeley.
East Coast thing?
No, there's one in Greeley.
Interesting, Jose. Here's the thing I want to throw out to the rest of you too. Have any of you gotten into Del Taco? Like that came to us late. Like we got Del Tacos really late, and I've never experimented with
The
it.
chicken tacos are solid, but that's about it.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying they're very reasonably priced, and I only know this because when the girls were like really little, there was like a short period of time where like Victoria was like working late, and I'd have the girls for that night. I'd go with my parents there, and we could. It was like it was like a Costco, but Mexican style, where we could all eat for like $8. And it's not because we were being cheap. Like I'm happy to pay for food. It's just they make insanely cheap tacos, so they're fine. They're like what kind of Taco Bell used to be, but I don't like. I never get the. I never get. Oh no, I like Taco House. I actually do.
Is it not as exotic? It's more basic. Would you say that?
It's more.
I wouldn't call any of this exotic. but
Well,
it is
you know what I meant. You know what I meant.
The mole is incredible.
I mean, they didn't have
They
loaded grillers, or do they? I don't know.
but they do have quesadilla tacos, and they even bring you can get the consomme with it. So they also have, I believe it's
Shout out, read Deja Vu's last comment. That's hilarious.
They have the around $2 menu.
That's great. Great marketing.
Yeah. They have. Correct me if I'm saying this wrong. Churros.
No. Why are you guys like hawking?
Gazoon tight.
These guys are terrible.
Bless you.
Accents.
Oh.
Charro.
Gazoon tight.
Oh. I can't not say it that way after Daniel.
Just say churro. It's fine. Like everyone knows.
We understand.
It's fine.
Give me a churra.
I got.
All right,
I don't know
Napoleon.
if that accent helped.
All right, moving on.
Havana is the best taco chain. I loved it when I was in San Antonio.
Yeah. And
Also never heard of Taco
Never heard
Cabana.
of Taco.
we had a
It sounds
Taco
like a
Cabana
party.
here. We had one here for us. It was, but it's gone now. It closed, but it was over by like, that Home Depot that's on like Harlan and Alameda. Do you know what I'm talking about? Over by Belmar, kind of.
Mhm.
There it used to be right there. And I agree with Todd. My uncle lives in San Antonio. Taco Cabana is delicious, but it's not Mexican. It's Texican. And so it actually didn't do very well here in Colorado because we like that
Yeah, we don't
green
like
chili,
Yeah.
northern Mexican food. So anyway,
Fun fact that Home Depot locks their bathrooms and don't allow you in them.
that's not
Okay.
true. Bear Valley lets you in. I just used it yesterday.
Not that one you were just talking about up on Alameda.
Moving on.
you're
Shout out to the Home Depot bathroom situation. Shout out to Todd as always. Thank you for writing in and giving us a little warm up here. And also, shout out to Big Box
He's back.
1431 1 hour ago. Kings and queens of the nerd chat. Thoughts on the Jason Schreier marathon comments this week? You buying what he's selling? That is all. Looking forward to another great show, you guys. Bacon, you're gonna have to take it away. I missed the Jason Schreier comments. Is he hyping it up, saying it's gonna be incredible or something?
No,
Or-
and
Well,
so go ahead,
Oh,
Bacon.
go ahead. I'm not completely clued in either.
So to be honest with you, Big Box, because like I said, I was back at school this week. I didn't have a chance to be on socials a whole lot. But when I read this while I was at piano recital with my daughter.
Wait a second. Todd Oxtra, #1 intern, get on it. Bring us up an article. Thank you.
No, I put the article in the doc. I was literally
there?
I finished my sentence. It's right below the comment. Basically, he basically says it's not good.
Okay.
He basically says like I don't think that they know what they're doing, and he basically knocks them because they kind of did this big announcement almost a year ago, and then we've heard nothing. And I'll be honest, I have two thoughts of this. One is that I would imagine whatever's going on is related to the whole issue at Bungie, right? Like Bungie just had our whole last episode was dedicated to like Bungie kind of blowing up and all the firings and stuff. Again, I'll hope all those people are landing on their feet. But I'll be honest with you. Here's my initial thought: is I'm kind of getting a tiny bit tired of this like rhetoric of like we're not even giving a chance of games. Like it's in development. Like it's being built. I don't think
no one has
fair.
seen or played this game, correct, Jose?
As far as I know, and maybe
Publicly.
Jason has. Maybe he does have a legitimate friend at Bungie or a series of friends that are high up that have given him thing. But at that point, I think it's kind of messed up that it's like, dude, don't kill a game before it's out. Let people have a chance to play it. And again, I'm not even sold on Marathon because I never played the original.
Well, we saw what 30 seconds of it, like,
and it was all CGI, right? It wasn't even gameplay. So I'm more in the camp of like, I'm more when I hear this kind of rhetoric about any game. It's a PlayStation game, an Xbox game, a PC game. I don't know if I want to buy into it as opposed to just let me play it, dude. Because there are also a lot of games that I think are really fun that get trashed by a lot of people, and so I'd rather see it.
Guys, I don't want to interrupt right now, but Jose is cooking right now.
Thank you.
He's cooking. Preach, Jose. I agree. Kevin, Kyle, and even though I've got some issues with Kyle and Kevin, Kyle and Joe, too. They were saying the same thing. I don't know if you guys listened to Trophy Room this week. They're basically saying, I'm so sick of it's exactly what Jose is saying. We're trashing this game, and it's not even close to being out yet. How can we already draw this negative attention on something that nobody has seen? And whether or not, I personally am excited. I still feel like Bungie makes great for, we're playing right now. And to be honest, I want to be playing Final Shape with you guys. I'm not going to lie. I'm ready to jump back in. They make good shooters. I like the art style from what I've seen of this game. But to be fair, Schreier is usually, he doesn't miss, right, Bacon? So what do you think about this?
Well, I assume Schreier's seen or heard something firsthand. He's the number one de facto go-to hot take reporter in the games industry. So I'm assuming he's seen or heard something from someone that is close to the project. And again, we've not seen anything, so things can change. I mean, games change all the time. But given the recent Bungie issues we're all been speaking about for weeks, and I don't not believe him. I loved Bungie for who Bungie was, not who they are currently. I don't know. It's tough. I'm hoping for big box here though that it's a good game because Concord isn't going to do it.
One other quick thing before Chance talks too, I should also point out. So the article that I sent to my crew is not the interview from Schreier. It's Game Post, I think is the site. I'm super sorry. They're the ones who posted it. Because I was trying to find it again really quickly. To be clear, where this comment came from was a podcast. It was not an article that Schreier put out. It was not a tweet that he put out. It was something that was kind of taken potentially in a different context. And again, because I haven't listened to the podcast, it could very well be that he was like talking to his friends and his friends made a comment about Marathon. And he was like, ooh, Marathon is not in a great place in passing, right? It could have been this total like contextual. He didn't mean anything by it. And because he knows it's an early development or because Bungie's in shambles, or it could be anything like that. And all of a sudden, it's been blown out of proportion all over the internet. And so again, I don't think Jason's doing this nefariously. I want to make that very clear. Again, I just think that we have to be really careful as fans and gamers of like, don't judge how much fun you're going to have in a game until you see the game or play the game even, right? Because each of us here on this have very different tastes in some of our games. Of course, there are some that we all universally love, but there are oftentimes we kind of make fun of each other because of our taste. Like we always hate on Dan for loving Vanilla Sky as a movie because it's a terrible movie, but he loves it, right? Everybody knows that I liked the Resident Evil movie and they all thought it was stupid. I get it, man. Like it's just the way that it works, man. It's just what I'm saying. Chance, what do you think, man?
The one point that I will point out that I think you guys didn't touch on was like part of where this is coming from is because of the culture at the studio right now. And I think that is what he's trying to talk about too. When he said it's not good, not right now. Because I haven't heard the podcast, like Jose said, we're not entirely sure exactly what he was talking about. And I think it's perfectly fair for him to say, if the culture at the studio isn't good, yeah, say that then. That's okay. I'm okay with that side of it. I hear you about let's not trash this game before it comes out, but 17%, they laid off 17% of their workforce. That's not good. And so I think if specifically that's what he's talking about, I'm okay with it.
And the bad thing is, if you're going to say something like that on a podcast of the size of Frames Per Second, which is SkillUp's podcast, it's got a big reach. And
Oh,
if you
yeah.
say something stupid on a podcast that has 1.1 million subscribers for a gaming podcast, you have to be responsible for what you're saying. So either he knew that, or he does have an axe to grind with Bungie. Who knows? I don't pay enough attention to Schreier, but I have to believe that whatever he's saying, because he hasn't been wrong. I can't remember a time that Jason Schreier has been wrong about anything. I don't like the guy, but
yeah. Either way, shout out to Baybox. Thank you for sending this to us. I'm gonna wait. I'm on the side of until I play it. I don't think it's fair to give opinions. And shout out to Todd for the warm up as well, and other shout outs. Jose, let's jump into Xbox news for the week.
News team, assemble!
News story number one, the title of our episode, HiFi Rush 2 and Tango Gameworks are alive again. This broke, I'm pretty sure it was Jez who initially broke the news. Jez Corden over at Windows Central. Krafton, the makers of PUBG, is picking up Xbox former team Tango Gameworks and the HiFi Rush IP they're going to supposedly intends to support Tango in the further development of the HiFi Rush IP. Bubble Boy and I talked about this on Project X Talk. I will keep my views short on this. Actually, did you guys hear what I said, Jose and Bacon? So I'll just quickly say, I think it's awesome that Tango Gameworks is alive and well. I love their games. I've played a majority, if not all of them, as far as I'm concerned. I'm a huge Tango Gameworks fan. HiFi Rush 2023, one of my top 5 games of the year. I'm hesitant to celebrate this because let's see if they actually get to make a second game. And let's see if people actually come around and support these guys, because I think it's a lot of people talking and cheering versus who are actually going to play and beat this game and buy a HiFi Rush 2. So those are my quick thoughts. I'm happy for them. This is an awesome thing that has happened, but I am a little bit concerned about what could potentially happen to Tango again. So anybody want to take Bacon? I'm gonna throw it over to you. I haven't heard you.
I'm happy for the developers, of course, because stability is always a good thing in life. I understand that Xbox actually shopped this studio around prior to the closure, and nobody bit. I'm sure they would have been happy to just sell it off and avoided all the conflict and all the drama, and nobody bit. Now I'm a little perplexed as to why Krafton decided that they needed this. I mean, why wouldn't Sony have hopped on that, or even Nintendo? Like, none of this makes a lick of sense. I can't imagine Xbox put an exorbitant price tag on it. I'm with you, Dan. I love the game. I really enjoyed it.
That was one of your only review.
And part of it was the virality of the shadow drop from that developer direct that all engines, full steam ahead. But you're right. The game didn't do anything on Switch, nor did it do anything.
It hasn't been out on Switch yet.
It's not on Switch yet? Okay.
Yeah, but I thought the same thing. And I haven't heard a single person on PlayStation talk about it. Right. By the way, I'm calling Kyle and Joel right now.
Support the developers.
They were all like, oh, we love this. Is so great for HiFi Rush. And oh, we love this. This is so cool. Neither of them have beat the game. Neither of them have gotten very far into the game.
It wasn't even that hard of a game.
Let's slow down, guys. Joe, Kyle, calling you out. You can't be like, oh, we love HiFi and Tango Gameworks.
They have a lot to say about us, those two. And
they're talking a lot of trash recently. Shout out to Matt Valdez, by the way. Good evening, gents. Can't wait to play Ghostwire Tokyo on PC. Played a ton. You're in for a treat because it ran like poo-poo caca on console, and so you're going to love it on PC. It's going to be awesome.
So am I happy? Will I buy a HiFi Rush 2? Probably.
Absolutely.
Or it'll probably be on Game Pass because I'm sure there's some happy little.
I don't know, dude.
I think Microsoft cut them a little deal.
I think you're crazy, Bacon.
A little deal. They're like,
you're gonna have to buy that.
$5 million. Buy the studio for $5 million. Just give us Game Pass deals. It's just weird that PUBG and Callisto Protocol, the owners of those two games, bought HiFi Rush. I don't know. Maybe they're looking to get a bigger footprint in video games. I just thought they would chase someone bigger.
Yeah.
But with Xbox keeping all the main IP except for that one is.
I think that's smart. I think
Right.
keeping those other ones, hopefully they'll do something with it. If not, they should have given them to him anyway. Jose, before I throw it over to you, I had an awesome question and I just totally blanked it. So go ahead, take it away.
So I had two thoughts listening to this, and again, I want to be clear. I'm happy for Tango. I think one of the biggest things we were all sad about was that studio is talented. Like it's not a question.
That's what it was. Thank you for reminding me. Do you think that this was a play, not necessarily for Hi-Fi Rush? That's an added bonus, but just for Krafton Games to get the talent at Tango Gameworks, and maybe that's it. And maybe they're just going to be a PUBG support studio, is what I was saying on the last show. Or are they really going to do a new IP? Because we saw how they treated Callisto Protocol, Bacon's #1 game he's played this year. So Jose, is it a talent thing?
You're leading exactly where I was going. So
I'm going to go put. Wait. I'm going to shout out to our sponsor, Subway. I'm also going to put this in the refrigerator. This is a Baja Chipotle sauce. Be right back, boys.
I thought that was your water bottle. Never mind.
I'm sure it's shelf stable for like 10 years.
What I thought was going to happen, or I guess my question was when I first saw this, because again, I'm happy Tango got picked up. There's a ton of talent there. It was very much a surprise that they got shut down after the critical acclaim of Hi-Fi Rush. Was that I kind of thought that Krafton was in trouble, right? Like after Callisto came out, didn't do very well commercially, even though I loved it. I know Bacon hated it. It's okay, right? Even after that happened, it was kind of seemed like Krafton wasn't doing well. And I get it. I understand that they do PUBG. Like I get it. That's where the bulk of their like money and prestige kind of comes from. But I kind of got this sense that they were very worried. And that's why it was a little surprising to me that they made the investment to basically buy a whole new studio. Now I was thinking more about it. And again, I am very much in the camp of like, I really want a Callisto 2. I understand it was a very controversial game. I get it, Bacon.
Are you serious, Clark?
But here's what I would say. I would say, what if we're getting conspiracy land here, right? What if theoretically they got the studio that was known for Evil Within 1 and 2, which are premier horror games, so that they can kind of reinvent Callisto 2, take out some of the stuff that Bacon hated, and do like this kind of surprise, like, because a little bit of a spoiler alert, but it's been years at this point. They do leave it open at the end of Callisto 2 for a sequel. And it, I'm sure they were hopeful it was going to do well, but like it just didn't as much as I wanted it to. So I wonder if this is a weird play to say, like, if we can build some momentum with Hi-Fi Rush 2, if they even make it, we don't know if they do, we continue making some money with PUBG, and then we make this surprise play for a Callisto 2. Like that is insanely exciting for me. I would love for that to happen.
They would have asked for that IP though if they were requiring them to be a sports studio.
What do you mean?
Why would they want the Hi-Fi Rush IP if they're requiring them to make them a sports studio? Wouldn't you just buy the studio and call it a day?
No. I'm not saying they drop Hi-Fi Rush. I think they absolutely will push forward with that IP. I think there is enough support and acclaim and stuff around it that it will do okay as a sequel. I think a lot of that will come down to pricing. I'll be honest with you. All like right. We got to hit that sweet spot for pricing. If they try to charge 70, it's gonna do pretty poorly. But I think they could certainly do well there. And then if all that goes to like as planned, then they parlay it as the next game back into that horror franchise. I really and if they don't, and they did Evil Within 3, if they could get that IP somehow, I would be all for that too. Like I think Tango has the talent to do those horror games, and for that to not continue is a shame. So I'm secretly deep down my conspiracy land. That's where I'm hoping it will go.
Daniel, you're muted.
Is your conspiracy that they're going to make Callisto Protocol 2 with that talent?
Well, that after Hi-Fi Rush, they're gonna parlay that's all the talent from Evil Within games into a hybrid version of Callisto that's like much better than the first because they had that as a piece. So that's just my initial thought. Chance, you want to talk about what I knew you did X Talk, but not everybody listening right now was listening to X Talk. So if you want,
and honestly, it was nothing terribly different than what we've already kind of said. That I brought it more back around to like these kinds of things make me happy from the human side of the story, because it means people are getting their jobs back and getting to do what they love. As I was saying, as all of us working with kids, it sucks to see all these studios shutting down and then go to school the next day and kids be like, I want to put me in computer science class because I want to make games when I grow up. And be like, well,
Well, they can use
do
those
you
skills
know?
for
Oh,
other.
for sure.
Yeah.
I'm 100%. And I'm never going to tell a kid like you shouldn't
Yeah.
because Tango Game Studios just made a banger and got shut down. But it does, because I'm always thinking in that kind of a mindset, it does excite me to see that they got picked up. So
Shout out to the chat just popping off. We've got Mariano Pampa. We mentioned you actually on Project X Talk. Bubble Boy brought you up for something. I can't remember right now. De Niro Primero. Sup, fellas? I'm late, but I made it. Just got back from back to school. Yeah, it's about that time, right, De Niro? We our kids. And Jose had freshmen today. Our guys, it was a pretty big deal today. All three of our kids are at the same school, kindergarten and first grade today.
That's a clap right there.
man,
Pretty crazy.
So
So
$0 a month for childcare.
potentially, I might have money. I might have money.
That's why Dan's buying that Legion Go, then the
No,
Ally X.
no. It's
a new
time for
Switch
the WRX or the Corolla
Wow.
GR Corolla to return. We'll talk about that later.
Priorities.
Shout out to Dinero. Shout out to Mariano Pampa. And
What were we talking about for Pomps? I was like, oh,
he said something. Oh, it was the he said our name change, that we should change it to the PC podcast. Are we good on the Hi-Fi Rush too? Is everyone?
Yeah, I
ready
think
to move
so.
on? News story number 2. Bubble Boy, take it away, because I know this is probably you, right?
Well, of course, but I assume Jose's really excited about it too, right? Like,
Take it away, Bubble Boy.
how are we all not excited about this? So, straight from everybody's favorite IGN exclusive. That's why I got it from IGN, Dan, because it says exclusive.
Oh.
Halloween is getting its own Unreal Engine 5 game with John Carpenter intimately involved.
Sweet.
Exactly.
Wait,
right?
just like that one guy for Elden Ring was intimately involved too.
Yeah.
Who was that?
R.R.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, man. So
Tolkien.
I have a couple of things to say about this, and then I assume I want to send it over to Jose because I'm sure he's jacked. I hope, and please hear me out here, Jose. I hope what they don't do is the Friday the 13th and Texas Chainsaw because
Come on, those are great, man.
not saying they're not. I'm saying like mix it up a little. Like how cool would it be to have a first person story driven single player game that you could play.
Do you hear this big box? Do you hear what he's saying?
Of course he does. I'm not, and maybe I'm alone in this, but like, why do we need another? What are they called? Asymmetrical
Horror.
Multiplayer horror game. Yeah,
Because Friday the 13th is dead.
Great, and that's awesome. And you just on X Talk, you were saying like, hey, we don't need all these sequels. You're absolutely right. We don't need all these sequels. So I would love to see something that is unique, that is its own thing, or maybe just play it safe and make something really cool and short. Jose?
I mean, please stop me if I go on too long. So here's what he will say. I'll try to keep it short. I love what James is saying, but there's one very massive problem with that premise. That is not what this IP is. So to be very clear, when you talk about Friday the 13th, when you talk about Nightmare on Elm Street, those are the stories of a monster, right? Jason, Freddy, whatever you want to call it, a big evil who is.
Wait. I got to interrupt.
No, we're gonna get to Todd in a second.
These games, aren't they already announced? Didn't we see these games?
No, that's you're confused. We're gonna get to that. Hang tight.
It says
nope. Trust me on this. I've done lots of research. So basically what it is in Halloween, it's not the story of kids fighting against Michael Myers. It's purely them trying to survive from him. So I don't know what kind of a game you could do with the exception of being Michael Myers, which like part of think that's cool, but that's also like super dark, dude. Like because you're
being his mom,
talking about murdering people, right? Like that's a little.
Which is every video game ever.
Well, maybe. Here's what I will say. What I am excited for is I love that John Carpenter's part of it, right? In case you don't know, John Carpenter he did the original Halloween, like the 1978 Laurie Strode version, which is fantastic. I also love John Carpenter as like a horror master because, like, for the record, in case you don't know, he was also potentially trying to make a Dead Space movie at one time. I would love for John Carpenter to do that, just so we know. But I'll be honest with you, I am actually in Dan's camp on this one because part of my issue with this, as much as I would love a single player experience in Halloween, we would all play it basically once and almost never go back to it. And part of what I loved about Friday the 13th was that even though we only mostly did it during October each year, it was kind of something that we all brought us back together, even for just a couple nights, to like laugh at Goose playing Jason and the rest of us trying to run away. And like that, there was something magical about that, what we call Nerd Fest in our inner circle, right? Where everybody, even though we're all grown people with families and jobs, like taking those couple of nights to just basically be children again. And so I think that's one of the inherent issues with what they do, but I'm excited. I think I love that it's Unreal Engine 5. Because again, if you haven't seen any, like it's just such gorgeous stuff. I'm excited that they're just doing horror games. Like I shout out to De Niro and Palms in the chat, just saying, I don't care what it is, just give me more horror games. I am also firmly in that camp. So we'll see, man. And I hear Nissa talking, they did Texas Chainsaw. People liked it. Now, are they still playing it? No. Right? I agree with Chance.
It wasn't as good as Friday the 13th. That's why.
But Friday the 13th wasn't good. It was what part of what we loved it was the jank of it, right? Because it was kind of legitimately janky. I don't think that's what they're going for, especially with the Unreal 5 stuff. So I don't know, man. I am curious to see what this is going to be in the end. Also, shout out Kevin Ainsworth in the chat as well. Good to see you.
I was gonna say, is that him? Okay. Yeah. Shout out. We were talking about you earlier, Kevin. We shouted you out.
Could it not be like? Could you be Jamie Lee Curtis?
Ooh.
Here's the other thing.
So what you're telling me, you guys, is you want them to make a Resident Evil 2 game, but just put the Halloween skin on it.
Oh, I mean, that's what De Niro just said. Resident Evil 3, where Nemesis
that's not Halloween. Halloween is not a story of kids like finding ammo and collecting machetes to fight Michael Myers. It's like they don't believe he's a threat until he's basically killing everyone, and they're just trying to survive. So I don't know, man. I guess I'm curious to see what comes from it. So
you're right, Jose. These two platformer 16-bit, whatever these are separate from the Unreal 5 engine game with John Carpenter.
That's our next news article.
Oh, I didn't know it was on the. So I guess
that's why we read.
Tie it in there.
Well, you have to know
how am I supposed to know, guys? To be fair, in the chat, his title for the article is related but different. Chipotle Bear is getting Christmas early. Okay, cool. I'm supposed to know that that's the next article. Blame me, guys. Okay, F me, right? Okay, go ahead. Take it away. Take it away.
Together either. So.
Anyway, Bacon, do you have thoughts on this? Sorry, I talked a long time.
Thoughts on this? One, I think they should make it like a card game or a Pentiment style game because I don't do horror. But two, a hot take. I had a crazy crush on Jamie Lee Curtis in my younger years.
That's not a hot take at all. Smoking hot.
Okay,
and
my wife gives me crap about it.
We talked about it in what was the Arnold movie? The Arnold movie.
True Lies.
True Lies. Holy shit.
Oh, yes.
Became a man.
I tell you what.
I became a man.
Thank you. One shout out to John Carpenter. I'll give you, Jose. Besides his expertise in horror, he also knows what the heck he's talking about when it comes to first-person shooters. On January 15th, 2022, I remember him tweeting this out. Halo Infinite is a fun shooter. Immense, beautiful production design. Best of the Halo series. All right. Sign me up for whatever. I mean, if he's a Halo Infinite fan, I'm an automatic John Carpenter fan. Take it away, Jose, with the next news story tied in.
So similarly, related but different. And again, I apologize. To be fair, in all seriousness to my co-host, I put that article in like 2 hours ago, right? And again, like if you don't know, we all have families and lives, and literally we're usually jumping into this chat like minutes before it goes live. Dan starts coming and yelling comms, right? Like that's typically our setup runway. But what I did hear about, actually from Ains, shout out to Ains, he'll probably pop in at some point later. At Retro Realms, right? The studio Retro Realms is doing, in the meantime, while we're kind of waiting for this awesome Halloween release to come out, a dual game, right? And it's basically think 32-bit graphics. So not Nintendo NES, more like think SNES, Genesis graphics. One of them is entirely a Halloween game where you do play as Michael Myers, and it's literally like a 2D side scroller, but it looks prettier because it's got the 32-bit and like has bosses and stuff. And then there's also one for Ash versus the Evil Dead with like the chainsaw and stuff like that, which are awesome, dude. Like they look just not like an outstanding game.
They look like Mega Man X or something like that. Or
this, it's exactly what they look like.
Or like the X-Men game.
And like you can find the trailers online. Go check them out, man. They're going to be released as a pack. There's all kinds of like things with collectibles coming out right now. Ains was talking about that he bought like the $80 one that comes with like a little Michael Myers plushie and stuff like that. I don't know if I'm going to go that far just because I've already got quite the collection. I got to start being a little more choosy, but I am pumped for these games. Like these are going to play great on your portables. I kind of hope they port it to like an iPhone. This seems like it would be a dope iPhone game for when I'm playing on the go. So shout out to Retro Realms. You know, if you're interested in Halloween stuff or horror stuff, this is definitely something you should check out. I don't know what pricing is. I was trying to find that before the show started. Oh, right here. Sorry. They can be purchased separately for $25 each, or you can buy a double feature bundle, which is $50. I don't know how that's a deal.
No
That's literally 25 twice.
All right.
Yeah.
Shout out to Halloween and what was the other one? Evil Dead.
Yeah, but we gotta, and I'm sorry,
Is it Nell?
Here,
Nell's comment?
We finally get the rebuttal from Nell, where Jamie Lee Curtis just seems kind of homely to me. Love you, Nell, but
Has she seen True Lies?
She has. It's one of her favorite movies.
Really?
She's hot as hell in True Lies. So I don't know what
I don't
to say.
understand. I don't even know what to say.
The
moving on.
I'll tell you the movie I got the crush is a movie called Blue Steel when she was a cop and dealing with a psychopath. So I made her watch it the other day, and she's like, "Really?" And I'm like, just kind of does it for me. I don't know.
Jose, you might have to pull a picture up or something.
Yeah, Jose, can we do some research here? Get
Blue
her
Steel? You mean to find Blue Steel?
Don't.
doing the strip tease for Arnold
True
specifically,
Lies.
and with her from
Such a great movie. True
Get
Lies
some good-
is like a
All right, keep going. I'll find one. Give me a second.
and you know what's hot was what's her face from strip
Pereira?
tease. What was her name?
Why
can't I think of Demi Moore? Oh man,
Smoke Show.
smoke show. God.
Smoldering.
Moving on. Well, we got to move on here. It's getting
toasty.
crazy in here.
I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, this is.
I'm going to tie those two together, those Halloween stories. So this is only news story number 3.
Hang on. I'm sorry. Real quick. I got it right here. Give me
Show
3
it to us,
seconds.
please.
For
it,
audio
get it
viewers,
right
I'm sorry. Check out the video. If you should know what we're talking about though. Like this isn't anything.
Go
else.
watch True Lies.
Go watch
It'll be
True
the
Lies.
best.
Fantastic film. Just saying.
Are we allowed
No,
to-
this is better than
We're not
Jose.
allowed to show
Maybe a little bit less close, please. Come on.
Oh yeah, when she's doing the come a little closer.
Okay, we can't go too far. I know.
yeah.
But yeah, she looks fantastic. Let's
All
get
right,
it.
continue. Moving on.
All right, moving on. Enough with that went crazy there. The Witcher 4 will star Geralt. I don't know.
He says it like he says churros.
I know. I hate the name. Like I said, I hate his voice. But he's not going to be the main character. So the rumors are not rumors are. The voice actor Doug Cockle has revealed that White Wolf will star in the next mainline Witcher game, but not as the main character. So, Bubble Boy, you're the one who loves Witcher the most here. I've put in 12 hours. I'm trying to go back. I have it on PC. The plan is to play that soon, actually.
Unless 12 hours, bud.
Dude, unless Starfield comes out here, then I'm never getting back to it. But again, I played it. It was fine. Too many icons, too much going on. Even when I tried to main quest it, and I couldn't stand his voice. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. His is terrible. So go ahead, Bubble Boy. Take us away. You're a Witcher super fan. I'd rather play CG. I'd rather play freaking Cyberpunk, hands down, way better.
Okay. So one of the quotes just that jumped out to me, what we know is that Geralt will be part of the game. We just don't know how much, and the game won't focus on Geralt. It's not about him this time. We don't know who it's about. I'm excited to find out. I want to know. I have not seen any script yet. I mean, I couldn't tell you if I did. This is the thing. So I could be lying through my teeth, but I'm not, or am I? And I'm like, okay, so what does any of that mean? I think like this guy started down a path that he must have been live on air or something when he was doing this interview and was like, oh crap, I'm not allowed to say all of those things. And so he just backtracked over all of it. I think if you just read the title, that's what I would want to talk about. And I was just curious, like if there are other games that you guys know of that you're like, wow, you can't do Halo without the Master Chief, right? I wouldn't think, but who knows? And so I think
They tried that in Halo 5 and it was terrible.
Oh yeah, okay,
Lock.
You're right. Yeah, there you go. I'm excited about The Witcher 4. This doesn't make me any less excited. It actually makes me more excited because I do want to see some other stories. I think it opens this universe, the IP that they have there is open for so many other possibilities. Just not akin to the Star Wars universe, but just like the Star Wars universe, there's so many other stories to tell that it's cool that Geralt will be there, but someone else gets to shine. So
I don't think, does anybody else play Witcher here?
I tried.
seriously,
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I have. I've heard a lot of it.
Those are huge expansions, and
Did you beat it, Jose?
so much?
I didn't. But to be fair, it's not because I got like bored or anything. I mean, I think I sunk like 80 hours in or something like that. Like I was, because if you've ever played Witcher 3, to be very clear, think of like an Ubisoft map, right?
Mhm.
It's like there are just icons everywhere. And then
Yeah.
you, like,
And how come Witcher didn't get critiqued on that, by the way? No
'cause it
one seemed to have a
it happened,
problem
like,
with
20 years ago.
It was
Like,
early.
with
Yeah.
Witcher having way too many question marks. I remember those freaking question marks, exclamation points. F that. Sorry, Jose.
So I would say I do. It's one of the where I kind of want to go back, but at this point, it's been so long. I forgot like all the button strokes. I forgot all the systems. I almost would need to restart. And it's so hard for me right now to get into a game that's anything above like 30 to 40 hours. Like it's almost weirdly daunting for me. Although I probably am going to start doing that maybe with like Outlaws and potentially some of the other ones that are coming out. So I don't know, man. It was great though. Worth your time. If you like RPGs, if you like that medieval setting, it really was an awesome game. Even though it's dated by like today's standards, it's just good. It's a fun game. The story's rad. I really have no complaints for it. It's definitely worth your time. I swear to you, even if you've never played the Witcher games, the first two I never have, still amazing. Check it out for sure.
Shout out to the chat. Before we move on to the next news story, we got to finish this Demi Moore versus Jamie Lear debate. Deja Vu said Demi is better than Jamie. I agree. I mean, but at the same time,
G.I. Jane.
Pomp said, my girl, Jamie Lee. Okay, well. But then we lost Pomps later. He said, Dan, how do you take one step forward and 30 back? Come on, are you kidding me? Wow.
Get him,
And
Pomps.
to all of us, he's like, I'm out of here because none of us had finished The Witcher. Sorry, Pomps. Okay. I mean,
he knows he gets it.
okay. Well, I don't see too many other people rave. Well, I guess I know it's a big game, but it's just whatever.
Too big.
I'm Pumps. It's on my PC. It's on my laptop. I do plan on playing it. I was this close, but I think I might just play Mafia.
I was thinking about that too.
Gotta finish Castlevania. Last news story, and of course, Bacon. You put it in here, didn't you, Bacon?
I went and added the article. He put it on there, and he's absolutely right. How can we not?
Bacon said, rumor or games going to PlayStation, and who cares? That's what Bacon wrote. Last news story. Rumor. Another big game is heading to the PS5 to be announced next week. And we talked about this a lot on X Talk. Bacon, take it away.
Well, I mean, personally, I think it's Flight Sim, but
That's what I said. I said that'd be a good, and I said State of Decay too.
I think
those would be great.
What they should do is launch the Master Chief Collection at the same time that they're launching Concord and see which one survives.
Bacon has it out for Concord, but
I'm telling you, man.
Bacon's
I think that game comes out
cooking
tomorrow,
right now.
doesn't it? I mean, it's very soon.
That's a great idea. No, I like that. I like either of those.
Choke it out. Like, say, here's Master Chief Collection.
Kevin
Enjoy.
was saying though, Bacon, I don't know if you heard him, is that to us, to Xbox hardcore fans who have been there, Halo's still one of the pillars, right? And it's sacred and we can't do it just yet.
Right, but
I was
you were
arguing,
right by saying,
okay,
it really is Halo's super popular right now, and it's clearly not. And you're probably right that Forza is probably more popular than Halo at this point. It's, with the TV show and everything else, why would you not put Halo on the PlayStation? Like, it's still on my hard drive, and I have not booted Halo up in like 8 months.
it feels like a cardinal sin to remove it from your hard drive.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So again, we are the PC podcast, so we're all like, put games everywhere. Who really cares? I think the diehard Xbox fanboys, your Tim Dogs and them, are really having a tough time with this. we knew this was happening. They made a ton of money on Sea of Thieves, and they're going to make a ton of money if it is Forza because it's already had 40 million players. So
I
add
don't think
10
it's
more.
Forza. I don't think it's Forza. I think that is. I was telling
saw
Kev, that is an Xbox.
I saw an Amazon UK listing for it being Forza. That was on Twitter, and now I guess that could be AI'd.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? But would any of us care if it was Forza? Like,
Well,
we
we talked about that.
enjoyed
Go ahead.
No,
Boy.
yeah, and that's what I was. And
You were saying, yeah.
De Niro said the same thing. He
We're right
said,
there with you,
his
De
take
Niro.
is he's like, I don't care. And what
Right.
I was saying on X Talk was, I'm excited. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, PlayStation fans don't deserve to play this game. I would actually love if it was Forza, because I would love to see all the Sony fanboys find out that,
Oh my God, they have good games on Xbox.
right? They'll
Gran
be like,
Turismo,
Gran
ain't it?
Turismo, what? Like, I think it'd be awesome. And we don't have to talk too much about it, but I do think we are leaning towards a world where exclusives are hopefully going to start to phase out, and we can play whatever we want on the console that we choose or the PC that we choose. And so I'm okay with it. I think the conversation got really fun when we started picking what games we thought might go and why, and then not just that, but how they would be received. And again, please, nobody clip this. Don't quote me.
Oh, clip this.
I think
Give the
Dan was
timestamp.
absolutely right that I would love to see Starfield
Yep.
be the one,
Put it over
just to see what happens to its reception after that many more people.
All
get
of a
to
sudden,
find
it's a
out.
good game.
No, but
It's
you know what they'll
great
say?
game.
It's all the fixes they've made post-launch that made the game great. I can
Or
already see IGN's article. They added the moon rover. They allowed you to eat the stuff on site. All these quality of life changes made the game now a 9 out of 10.
I think about it from like imagine if it was like this I didn't say on X Talk, like when someone goes to make movies, right? They're not saying, oh, we're only going to release this movie at AMC theaters, and then these movies we're only going to release at Regal cinemas and stuff. It's just not how it goes. And I hope our industry that we love so much in video games goes more along the lines of movies and less along the lines of Netflix and subscription services.
Like timed exclusivity is a perfect thing. Like Sony should do it too. A year on their platform and then put it everywhere else. Like there's money to be made. I don't get it.
before I throw it over to Jose, De Niro, we agree. If De Niro said, I want great games to be experienced and played by as many players as possible. I agree. Oh, and Matt Valdez said, absolutely. The only problem with that is that there are two other companies who are publishers that don't feel that way.
Here we
with
go.
Sony and Nintendo. And because of that, exclusives exist. So Xbox, Microsoft is in a unique position because they are the biggest publisher now. They have the most probably active users, and they are and forever will be in last place in console sales. And so they have to make moves like this. I don't know. I agree. I wish Spider-Man was playable on Xbox. I think it's really stupid that you can't play Spider-Man on Xbox, especially that big of an IP. Yes, we are fortunate, all four of us here, we can play Sony games on our PC, and I'm fine with that, and I'm fine with waiting, and I have no reason to have a PlayStation 5. But I wish there was a world where they didn't exist after playing for so long. I wish we could go back to celebrating. Like I was listening, I think it was Kyle and Joe talking about, it wasn't like this before. Like when we were excited for games on Super Nintendo, yeah, there was Super Nintendo versus Sega, but I just remember being excited for the games. I remember being excited for everything that was coming out on PS1, the Nintendo 64. I had both consoles. It didn't get toxic until the stupid social media took over. And it's like Todd said, bring your controller you like to the box you like and let us play the games. Yes, Todd, hopefully that's where we are going to be. And I guess Xbox has to lead the way. So, Jose, what are your thoughts on the whole exclusivity and other games coming to PS? What do you think it could be? Did you hear what we were throwing out there? Recore, Crackdown.
I mean, I heard
Sunset Overdrive.
I heard the Wasteland thing. I think that's a cool pool. I think it's too long, dude. And here's the only other problem with Wasteland is that Wasteland 3 is not that far
Isn't that
out.
already on PlayStation? I think it is.
I don't think it is.
Pretty
Anyway,
sure it is.
Anyway, I thought those were cool things. I mean, at the end of the day, and I don't want to send too much of an echo chamber because we've been on this for a while. I think I'm in Chance's court. Like, I understand that the internet cries about everything, and I get that if it was Starfield or if it was Halo, there would probably be a sensational news pieces. There would be the same rhetoric of Xbox dead as PlayStation is dead. You know, PC Master Race. Like, it's no different than if they weren't there. I think all of this is going to just come down to numbers and money. Like, I hate to be just like that guy, but I don't think from the Xbox and even the PlayStation side, it's really that much about the idea of console wars or fanboys or someone said that, I think when you guys were on X Talk, was like, Xbox doesn't care about fans, they care about buyers, right? And I think that's a very apt statement. So I think at the end of the day, like, I hope whatever it is successful. I really do, because I think the more that happens, the more that Xbox will do that. And I understand where Dan's frustration is, like, but Xbox is the only one that does it and it just pisses me off. I get it. But at some point, if Xbox continues to release games that are commercially successful because they're being ported to a second system, whether that is PlayStation or Switch or PC, the other companies will realize we're dumb for not doing that, right? Because even a couple years ago, PlayStation was the camp of like, we will never push our stuff to PC. We have our own system. We're making money on our PlayStation 4 and 5. We're never going to do that. And yet here we are, only a couple years later, already seeing that. And granted, it is, like Bacon said, timed exclusive, but I just think that it's the scales tipping slowly. And so while Xbox may be at the forefront of that frontier, I applaud them for that. And again, I hope that on the positive side, not playing gamer war or gamer console wars here, I hope the PlayStation fans get to play games they love. Like, as much as we talk trash about Joe, I know Joe loves Halo and a lot of the Xbox games. Let him play them on PlayStation. If he loves that god-awful controller, let him play on it, right? Like, I shout out to,
so bad. I mean,
It's the worst controller ever.
I love what Todd said up here, and I'm going to pull the last one and then I'll pass it on. He said, you know what? I just want the future where you bring your controller that you like, you pick the box that you like, and you can play all the games. I think that's a fantastic mantra, Todd. I'm with you 100%, man.
Yeah, let's not forget I'll be suffering through God of War Ragnarok next month on PC. So
why? If you don't like it,
because I have to platinum it, bruh.
All right,
It's an easy platinum if it makes you feel any better.
Okay.
a long, boring one.
What's
Dinero Primero. Social media gave everyone a voice with no repercussions. Yep.
Good point.
That's the worst. And Todd Oxter said Sega does what Nintendo. Yeah, well, look where Sega is now. Multi-publisher. So clearly that strategy didn't work.
We got him.
And Crash Bandicoot taunted Nintendo. Not a part of Sony anymore. So, I mean, yeah, that was an aggressive Sony, to be fair, with Crash. And there was also Sega trying to figure out. But again, the only one who survives, you guys, does their own thing, Nintendo. And they're just the most like, you want in? Come pay $300 for that Switch and come pay $70 because we're never dropping the price on these either. Good luck buying these on sale.
They had a sale? When was that?
Never. Can't even get them at GameStop for cheap.
No.
Guys, let's close the news for the week. Let's jump into what have we been playing and or watching. But before we do that, Bubble Boy, top 3, take it away.
Yeah, and if nobody
we can
brought
just do this instead of playing. I have
that's
some.
okay. Oh, Jose has them, right? Is that what you're saying? Awesome. So I gave the guys some homework to. Long story short,
He gave us homework yesterday.
Yeah. My high school has this giant wall in the commons that was painted over. Used to be a mural of like Mount Olympus and the Greek gods, and it was painted over. And so I have been wanting to I submitted a grant proposal last week to try and get someone to come in and redo that mural for us. In that effort, my principal also said, hey, we have this wall that is this giant wall leading up to that in this hallway that we want to put some inspirational quotes on it. And so he tasked me with kind of leading the charge to get these quotes put on. He's like, I'm not going to nitpick what quotes you pick, just make sure they're inspirational and they kind of speak to most kids. And so it would not have the Bubble Boy flair to it if it didn't have at least one, I think, that is coming from the video game world. So I test them with 3 to 5, even if you only have one or you couldn't think of one, inspirational quotes. So not necessarily your favorite quote. I would have loved to have put some Morden quotes on there, but I couldn't find the right inspirational Morden quote. So
There's only one Morden quote.
I know. So in that, like, does that make sense for a school and inspiring? Probably not.
Absolutely. Die an honorable death.
Well, yeah. So I will wrap it up. But I also would love to know if you're listening to this later on, whether it's podcast, you're watching it on YouTube, or if you're in the chat with us right now, if you have an idea for an inspirational quote that would be appropriate to put in the halls of a public high school, let us know, because I'd love to hear about it. Jose, you seem excited.
I did 6.
Oh,
I'm an overachiever.
my man.
Of course.
Valedictorian. All right, number 1
Whoa!
was from Skyrim. What is better, to be born good or to overcome your evil nature through great effort? Which that's a
Couldn't
little.
tell you
I don't
who
know if I
said
put
that.
that in a school. Parthenax.
He did.
The dragon.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good for a school, but I thought that was a good one. Number 2, the right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world. Right, by G-Man from Half-Life, which is a great game too. We all make choices in life, but in the end, our choices make us. That is good old Andrew Ryan from BioShock, which is a fantastic game. That one I think is actually a great one for the wall. Number 4, good old Morden. I know, I get it, gents, I do. But part of me thinks, like, if you put that up there, most of your kids will like not get it, but that one kid, it gets it. You just made a friend for life.
And he'll have like just been considering dropping out and being like, I get it now. I'm gonna finish this strong and get my diploma.
Exactly. Quote is had to be me. Someone else might have gotten it wrong. Shout out to Morden. R.I.P. The last 2,
No spoilers.
Metal Gear Solid. Original Metal Gear Solid. You mustn't allow yourself to be chained to fate, to be ruled by your genes. Human beings can choose the kind of life that they want to live. What's important is that you choose life and then you live, which is, I think, a great quote as well. And then the last one. This one you can't put in the school.
Was that Snake?
No, it was
there Otacon?
Naomi. It was Naomi.
Oh.
Last one is, remember that switching to your pistol is always faster than reloading. All right, that's a good Halo quote.
Probably can't put that.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's good mantra.
Thank you.
Halo.
Yeah, thank you. No, I like those. You'll have to send them to me because we're gonna. It won't be just me deciding, but
Hogwash.
I know it. I am certainly leading the committee. So
I'll go quickly here. I also had that had to be me. Someone else might have gotten it wrong. Obviously, Morden Solis, one of the greatest characters in all of video games, greatest companions. I asked Matthew while he was streaming Wolfenstein this week while I was watching him at work. He said, "I should go" by Commander Shepard. And "That's for Thane, you son of a bitch." And those were the two.
Thanks, Pony.
Those were the two he wanted to contribute. I also just thought of Halo. John 117 says, "Sir, finishing this fight." Maybe finish the fight. You were just saying finish strong there.
Yeah.
You just put finish the fight. Just put Master Chief. Or Sic Parvis Magna. Greatness from small beginnings from the Uncharted collection.
That's a great one.
All right.
So those are mine. Bacon, you got any?
I only have one, but it won't work either. And it's, I need a gun.
Yeah. See, these are all, we're not the best for this.
Yeah. My boss likes me or I think he likes me right now. We're not maybe jury's out on that, but I like my job, so I don't want to get fired, but I appreciate it.
Yeah. It's easier with movies.
So, and I have Shakespeare on my body. I want to have a Shakespeare one. Cut. Yeah, sorry. Literally, because it's tattoo. I want a Shakespeare one. There probably needs to be a Simpsons quote on there somewhere, or a Seinfeld quote, right?
But, Seinfeld for sure.
These kids don't know Seinfeld.
Who cares? They just know the quote.
They're not. Yeah, they're exactly. So even though I will be ultimately the one choosing, the quotes that I think have a strong possibility here. It's more important to master the cards you're holding than to complain about the ones your opponent was dealt, from Pokemon Black and White. and here, this one, I'm like, God, we have to, but don't make a girl promise if you know you can't keep it.
That's a good
And
one.
I feel
Shout
like
out, Ken.
that could really be it, right? Like
That's a
that.
good one.
I could see that working. And then,
But nobody's going to know who Cortana is, but who
and that's
cares?
okay.
Some might write the Cortana down.
That one
Next
kid will be like,
one-
she was the AI on the Windows phone, remember?
Yeah.
Everyone's all sad.
What kid had a Windows phone besides Dan?
That's true.
And this
You
one
had a
actually
Windows
reminds
phone?
me of the one Nissa just put in the chat. No matter how dark the night, the morning always comes. From Final Fantasy X. I feel like that's kind of inspiring.
Sounds like a Dark Knight quote.
So hers, that was from Final Fantasy X. Hers was Dumbledore. Happiness can be found in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light, which I think is similar. And then the last one, and I honestly think this might be the one I go with. I know
I like that one, Chance.
So from Kratos himself, and what's cool, Bacon, you're gonna see the follow up to this quote, and I won't spoil it for you, but he tells young
This is spoilers
Atreus.
here.
No, it's not. You've played the first one,
Feel
right?
free
Bacon?
to spoil. Yes, feel free to
Okay.
spoil it.
So in the first one, he tells Atreus is like, "Sorry, Daddy." He goes, "Do not be sorry, be better." Yeah, and I love that quote. I have an inside story about that quote that I won't share with everybody from Disney World, but I like that one's great, and I think it might end up being the one we pick. What if you guys had to pick one of mine? What do you think?
Greatness from small beginnings.
I would
Six
change it to
Brothers
Deja.
Mango.
I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum.
Dude,
I don't know bubble gum.
Is that Duke Nukem? I'm pretty sure. And trust me, there's 1,000 out there that like when I needed a quote for my wall over here or something, absolutely going to put all these on there. But this is going in a place with children. So, but thanks for leaning in, guys. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Please, honestly, put those in the or not in the notes or.
Well, they're putting them in there, Bubble Boy. I'm just not so sure you're going to use any of these.
I'll send them to you, Chance.
Shout
thank you.
out to the chat. Thank you for writing those ideas, but also shout out to the chat. Let's talk about what we've been playing. Before we get into that, though, quickly from Todd. Todd said, put everything. If you could play Nintendo games on a Steam Deck, you would. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I'm saying.
we would. In a second.
Nintendo wouldn't be making so much money if they went multi-platform, but they're never going to do it because they don't want to adapt or change, and they're Nintendo, and they will continue to charge us insane amounts of money to play on inferior hardware because people don't care in the end. They just want to play the good games. So, what have we been playing? Still in Castlevania. I'm about 5 hours in. I've gotten to the swap. I'm enjoying it. Do I think it's as good as everyone has talked it up to be, even reflecting back? No. I think Super Metroid is hands down way superior to it, and I'd rather go back and play that, and it's a fantastic game. But I can see why some people love Symphony of the Night so much. But huge shout out to Dinero Primero, and he wrote in the chat because he was there as it happened while we were streaming earlier this week. It got worse though, Dinero. You didn't see last night. I didn't stream last night. I want to give these guys a special shout out. After a grueling week of constant pain, they finally beat that level in Destiny. This is true.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby!
We finally got past the laser wall and boss and hordes, figured out a strat. Jose and I up top. Bacon was in the only room that didn't get hit by the lasers like I was getting hit all the time.
I never died.
Bacon was strong. I was pretty strong there
died.
too. If I died,
like
it was going
300 more
Chipotle.
kills that night. I just want it noted.
Bacon, again, he was in the safest room in the entire level. We did beat it on Legendary, got to the final boss in Legendary, tried 4 times. Bacon and Jose kept dying and dying trying to get to the spot. I would get there every time. Of course, on our last try, after
died.
spraying, I fall through the thing. Didn't know that could happen into the combat zone when we were trying to stay up on top out of the combat zone to pick off this guy in his second phase. Chipotle Bear, we were all like, this is stupid. Bacon was like, I hate this game, even though he was loving Lightfall at first. Dropped it down to normal, beat it in 5 minutes. And it's just, it's
Not only did we beat it in 5 minutes, we stormed through the entire level.
Yes.
yeah.
And
No,
beat the
no
boss
cheesing,
in
just straight
5
up.
minutes. I don't even think I
One.
reloaded my gun.
And this is a problem for Destiny. The leveling from normal to legendary
Ludicrous.
is ridiculous. It's the biggest gap there is, especially if you're playing on Legendary with other people, the bigger your fire team. So if you have 3 versus just soloing this level, which we probably could, I think we could do it easily on solo if we wanted to go back.
Nope.
It's insane. We spent, every time I timed it, it was like 15 minutes of us just sitting underneath these stairs picking off at Callus until he hits phase 2. Then we had to escape from underneath. Then the tricky part was, as this bubble is closing in, you have to jump out and on top of it with the strand power. And of course, like I said, the one time I died was at our final chance when Jose and Bacon got up there. But we didn't know that you could fall through in certain spots, so it probably would have happened to us anyway. So we did beat it on normal. We are not pro gamers. Sorry, we failed you. We did not beat the Lightfall campaign on Legendary.
But to be when I need to clarify, when Dan says that for 15 minutes, Dan, Bacon, and I have our gun on Callus and we are straight spraying. I'm talking hold down, empty a clip, it reloads, spraying. For 15 minutes, all 3 of us is how long it took to get his health down to the bottom, which is insane. That means if we're like running around, that's like a 45-minute match easily, which is like. And then the next notch down.
Well, yeah, but we're not also saying there's like 3 groups of enemies and probably some people respawning to deal with while you're in this arena that you can fall down. That's just a horrible arena. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
No, that just I have nothing to say. I'm glad it's done. That's right.
Jose, you guys, Jose's the nicest guy. He's just there to have a good time.
At you.
He was mad and raged, and he was dying.
I did.
And he was dying at clutch times too.
I did, and I was like, I'm not even having fun.
Raging.
Like I'm here because I love.
That was the one time I've heard Jose saying, "I'm not having fun. I'm done with this. Drop it to normal."
It was so bad, dude. So bad. The final shape better be something freaking awesome.
We were having fun, to be fair, up until this last part. But yeah, I
had a great time when it was on normal. I had a lot of fun.
I know, I had fun playing on normal too. Maybe we just need to do normal. But Bacon wants it to be harder. So, Bacon, what have you been playing besides
dude?
Destiny
There's
2?
no, dude. We saw how easy that final level was on normal, right? We were just messing around and we walked straight through it. I went down once because I got super cocky, but we can't play the final shape on normal. The gap is like Jose.
Jose said we're gonna try it once or twice, and then we're dropping it to normal against the
I don't care.
We
Is there
can get
nothing
through
in
the
between
levels.
those two?
No,
There's
I
no.
mean, it's an insane gap, but boy, it's insane. It's not like, and we were talking about it. It's not like Halo Legendary where that's manageable. Even like when you're playing with other people or solo, it's manageable. 1, it's not ridiculous, and 2, you have unlimited spawns, right? You can just keep spawning on people as long as or if everyone dies, at least if one person's alive, you can maybe finish it, right? Destiny doesn't allow that. You get to revive each other once, and then after that, if you die, it's over. Yeah. There's a timer, and it's like if you don't finish in 10 seconds, you're done. And it doesn't matter if like you're the last person. Oh, maybe we were saying if the last person can stay alive and finish it, that would be cool too. It doesn't do that. Like you basically get what? Just 2 deaths and it's over. And it's insane, dude.
Chance, and when we finally decided to go to normal, Chappelle's like, all right, guys, I got a big meeting tomorrow. This has to end. And we walked through to the save point, and we
from the start of the level.
We got to the boss almost just to do it ironically, and we just murked him.
It like goes from impossible to just you're on
murked
easy.
him. We weren't even expecting to beat it. And we just, it's over.
I was expecting to beat it, but...
Well, yeah, we thought we were going to have to cheese it.
No, I didn't think that. I knew we were going to go in there and light them up.
That was such a joke, how easy that was. Other thing I've been playing, Crash Bandicoot. I 57% through the first one.
Wow.
Dude, that is the Dark Souls of platforming. I love the game.
It's not as good as people remember.
It is unforgiving.
It's cool.
Like, super old school. So definitely worth playing if you guys are interested. It's awesome and hard at the same time. Like I play like one batch of lives and then I go play something else because I don't want to be angry at the game. But it's freaking hard. So that's it.
All right.
Pause. Bubble Boy, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I have been playing, as you can see in the background here.
Oh, that's right. Show everybody. Show everyone.
I can't. Yeah. That is my character, my bard, in Baldur's Gate 3. So finally, we'll have a video release for this because I haven't done the
got it,
full
boys.
unboxing
Right
yet,
there.
but I finally, straight from Kilkenny, Ireland, got my.
Been there.
Whoa, is that a real giant book you've got sealed up
That
there?
looks so
It's
dope.
cardboard.
It's awesome. I'm excited. Like it comes out, all the stickers and stuff. So we'll drop a video as soon as I figure
Exclusive world premiere.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. But it is, I can't remember if I said it, like that's a freaking haul that I just got there. For I think it was $100 because the shipping all the way from Ireland. A map, like a physical map,
Steelbook?
steelbook, game disc,
Physical
100
game
stickers,
and a code.
Steam code. Yep.
I got a portable hard drive or a disk drive if you want to borrow
Yeah,
it.
I was
disc, yeah.
scared for a second, Bacon. I like when I first opened, I was like, "Oh god, this is a disc," and I was like, looking over at my computer, I was like, "I'm about 100% positive, but maybe
You know, on
90%."
Amazon for about $8, but
Yeah, no. But so I'm liking it. Bacon and I were kind of talking about it. I had tried it on the Ally, which it just wasn't appropriate to play on the Ally. There's entirely too much going on the screen.
Weapon wheels for weeks.
And the wheel, gosh, those weapon wheels are tough. So it is my first. I'm trying mouse and keyboard game that I'm doing, and the combat is exquisite. Mouse and keyboard. I am struggling with the exploration mouse and keyboard.
Point and click.
Yeah, and I which is fine. It's not even that as much as the and I had to rebind a bunch of my keys and stuff, and I even did one to the mouse. You need to Bacon help me figure out the moving of the camera. So I know I have the Q and the E where I can pan it, but then I did it to where I can hold down my right click and move my mouse, and it moves the camera, and that's probably the closest thing I've found to like what having a controller is, but it normally wouldn't matter, except I mean a big part of an RPG like this is the exploration and finding things and stuff.
That's
so
huge.
I'll get used to it. I'm really glad I'm doing it this way and that I bit the bullet, and I'm excited that this will be my first mouse and keyboard game. So
have you tried any shooters on mouse and keyboard yet, Bubble Boy? That's
absolutely not.
experience.
I'm not a masochist like you. Like
so
we
good. So much better.
What'd you say it's better? Aiming, movement? No. Aiming, yes.
Once you get good at it, it is.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Shout out to Dinero Primero. He said that it's because they had me as good luck. I was like the shout out to Dinero. He was there the entire
Matt was
time.
in there for one of the playthrough nights where we didn't beat it too. I think, right? Wasn't Matt in the chat for like half an hour, probably laughing at all of us?
And he also said that Crash is no joke. Yeah, it's. I remember. I don't know if I ever beat that when it was on PlayStation 1. I don't think I did.
So hard.
Yeah.
No.
Go ahead, Jose. What about you?
Other than Destiny 2 and that whole poo poo caca, I did play. I still been playing Stardew Valley. Like I'm kind of now at the point where like I got to roll credits on this game. I've never done it. I've started it like 6 different times on different consoles, and my wife's still into it. I got to beat this game at some point. So I want to roll credits, but I'm enjoying it. And then I also, after last week's episode, I kind of hyped myself into this. I bought that Doom collection, and I didn't just buy the Doom 1 and 2. I bought the one that's like Doom 1, Doom 2, Doom 3, Doom 64, all the things with sigil and everything. And I had a great time, man. Like I was a little too young to get into like Doom when it first came out. And also, I love my mom. Shout out to my mom, but like that is certainly not a game my mom would have supported me playing when I was like a little kid. And so I'm having a great time. What I will tell you though, it's weird because it's so simple compared to modern gaming, and yet it's challenging. Like it's crazy to me how much it's like there are a couple levels I've had to play several times and like really think about like what I'm doing and like ammo and stuff. And there's a huge curve. Like the first world, because there's 4 episodes in the base game, and each episode has like 8 levels. In the first one, it seems all easy. Like I was beating them first playthrough, no problem, tons of ammo, like had a great time. And then it's gotten progressively harder, but I am really enjoying it, man. And again, it just makes me appreciate all the work of like Romero and Carmack and everything. So if you're into Doom, highly recommend it. It's super cool.
Was it this Doom franchise bundle on Steam? Is that what you got?
Yeah, but there's a couple of them. So there's the one that's just Doom 1 and 2 that I think is like $10. I got the one that's
on Game
35.
Pass. 1 and 2 is on
Oh,
Game
okay.
Pass.
Yeah.
Oh, 1 and 2 is on Game Pass. But on Steam, I did buy the one that's
For
35 because it has
71% off.
Yeah, it comes with all those games. Like it's enough that and
That's
they'll
a
all
haul,
play,
man.
they'll play great on my Ally and stuff too. So they're great. I'm not in a hurry to finish them or anything. And also I remember when Doom 3 came out, it was different because it's like kind of high res textures and there's a lot of lighting stuff with like a flashlight. That was real early in like the pantheon of games. And so I never played it. And so I'm actually really excited to play that as well. So that is what I've been playing this week. I'm excited to kind of play a little bit more. I would love to finish Doom 1 all the way before I get to Outlaws here in a couple weeks. And if I finish it early, I still need to go back to COD because I want those 2 guns. And I would love to. I know we have Destiny.
But why? But why? Because
I like COD.
Are we going to be in a new Warzone to do Call of Duty? Yeah, exactly.
I absolutely will play the new Call of Duty. But I want to play with Bacon with the Stig 44, whatever it's called. And
No, I'm
Deja.
saying I'm gonna play 2. I don't think they're not gonna carry over.
No, I understand that. I know they're not going to play it, but it's a personal pride point. If I spent 16 hours on that ridiculous with level like laser level in Destiny, I can afford to play a couple of hours.
All right. Shout out to Nessa. Nessa said, "Tried out Creatures of Ava, and I still have no idea what to do with the game." All right, well, good luck with it.
And speaking of that, because Luke asked me last week, he tasked me with trying to figure out the story in Kunitsugami. I have read the ingredients label on a Jif jar of peanut butter that had a better story than that game, and I sadly had to put it down.
Wow.
Bruh.
It's okay if it's not too many games. Wait, whatever. Play what you got to play. There was somebody I wanted to shout out, but I forgot. So far, I'll remember it as we move on. Gentlemen, let's close the show like we always do with the best.
Wow, it's like there's a party in my mouth and everyone's invited.
So loud.
That's perfect. Everyone is invited. That's right. Ken Griffey Jr. Folks, go
I
look
had
it
to
up.
cut you
Simpsons.
off because I didn't know if you knew or remembered we were doing that now.
The best food we had this week. Jose, I'm going to need you to add 1 breakfast burrito. And I got to say, I was wrong. I had a QPC the way I do it, bacon. It's way better than that double cheeseburger with bacon.
I was shocked.
The QPC, you guys. It's up there. Bacon.
You can't go wrong.
You were right about that. Delete the mustard, add
Are
mayo
you
and
ready to
lettuce.
say better than a Whopper?
Oh, easily.
I know that. I know. I'm
No,
asking
it's
you.
not.
I'm a
Whopper.
double
Whopper is
QPC guy, though.
Whopper
Oh,
QPC. Sorry,
Some
there's
Z.
no burger that tastes like a Whopper, and it's incredible. Heavy veggies, everyone. Pro Strat.
most
Whopper
burgers-
heavy veggies. But the best food I had this week was just now when I was eating during the show. At the beginning of the show, Allie made a crusted, breaded chicken. I'm not usually a big fan of it. I just prefer grilled chicken. But it was delicious. Stuffing, the Stouffer stuffing on the side. My God, box stuffing is just so good. Brussels sprouts, I never had those in my life until Allie makes them, and they're freaking fantastic. The house smells like ass upstairs now, but it's still, the food is incredible. And of course, I was dousing that chicken with that Baja Chance, you got to get it, man. And I have the Taco Bell one. It doesn't compare. Like it's crazy.
They're not supposed to.
I know.
They're
I'm
totally
just saying.
different profiles.
So that's the best food.
Wait, Dan, that is not the best food you have this week. And it's sad that I know your eating habits, but like you sent me a photo and we're like, prep this thing.
I forgot. Well, I completely forgot. I completely forgot.
$700 meal you had?
Yeah.
Yes, my
You bought
pockets
it
are
for the
poor.
price of a small PC.
Jose, please pull up the picture. Allie and I had a date night. We were able to go this past weekend too. If you saw my tweets, I was crunk. We were tweeting out. Go check out my Twitter account. There's me with some margaritas having a good old time. But we went to Del Frisco's, the #1 restaurant that I could go to the rest of my life and die a happy man if I could just eat there once a week. Allie and I would do it if we were loaded. Yeah, exactly. The drink, we've got a Manhattan up there. Then we've got the truffle mac and cheese. Incredible. Not pictured, which we have earlier. We get 2 orders of this. It's insane. It's $20 per order. The cheesesteak egg rolls. Incredible. Don't have a picture of that. Then we've got an 8-ounce sirloin medium served with a crab cake on top, Mile High style. Guys, I honestly don't know which I like more, the crab cake or the steak. They're both Chance. It's like there's it's like
Party.
Wow. It's like there's a party in my mouth and everyone's invited.
I'm not even kidding. Every time I go there, that's what I think when I'm taking a bite out of this thing. So, and Jose, bring up the next picture. If you could, did I send both of them to you?
No, you just sent one.
Well, then we went to the Rio afterwards, and I had 3 margaritas, and I was having a great time.
2 there.
And then he got
3
on
is the limit.
Destiny after that and played like crap and blamed it on me.
Blaming me? Didn't we beat it that night?
He kept running into that wall and saying, "The wall's nowhere near me."
No. I was
30
behind. We
absolutely
established that. But
assure
sorry,
you.
I forgot. This was hands down the
bacon story there.
the best food I had this week. Nissa had dumplings, and De Niro says, "I want to hear about these fruity pebble waffles Bubble Boy has." And it's coming. It's coming. We'll close with that. Bacon, what was the best food you had this week?
Well, last week I told you guys about the steak my wife made with her own little homemade marinade. Came home the other night. She went act 2 on this one. Had it all in the marinade, but it was raining outside, so she couldn't go use the smoker. So she said, "We'll just put them on the pan and cook it on the oven." No.
Bacon, why didn't you just go hold an umbrella over her?
Never again.
That would have been worth it.
Once you eat off a Traeger, you don't want to eat anything else. And it was like,
I know.
Can't
I'm
you put
saying
the Traeger in the garage?
You go
and open a
umbrella
door
over it, bud.
yeah, that's asking a lot.
It has wheels, doesn't it?
And we're like super excited. I was like, all right, marinade times 2. It just didn't have the pizzazz. So that's my
disappointing. Best food you had this week. Jose?
So I had 2 great things this week. One was definitely much better, but fun story. So as we're preparing for school, we have a lot of PD, and which is like professional development, which we have to go all over the district. And as luck would have it, I had training at our alma mater, Green Mountain High School, home of the Chipotle Bandit. And so while I was in Green Mountain, I had a little bit of time ahead of time, and my principal was like, "You should leave early so you can grab lunch." I was like, "Yes." And so I went to Burrito Express and I got the classic burrito. And I don't get it like Dan does, because he takes out the potatoes. And I get it, I respect it, but I had to have the classic version of it. And it was delicious. It was truly very good. It wasn't too much. It was solid. The one thing I will say, there's salsas that are not that great though, dude.
It changed. I know the red used to be good, Jose. I don't know what happened. It's not good. I actually prefer the green now. I think I told you the salsa verde is what I like.
Yeah, and I love the reds at Tacos Rapidos, which is on Federal.
Yeah,
but man, the burrito is great. I'm not knocking it, but man, I almost need to like bring my own salsa next time. That's a note to myself. But the real best food I had this week, we also had a date night with my wife on Friday. Just if you don't know, when you have kids, it's just hard, man. Like in life and jobs and stuff. And so every once in a while, I try to remember like find a place for the kids to go, and so we go out.
We could do it more.
Absolutely. It gets better when they get older. But this is my best food that I had this week.
Oh.
So here's the fun. We're gonna play a little game. So this is sushi that we're looking at for our audio listeners, right? And you can see 4 rolls on the screen that
is
are
that
pretty
Orion?
robust. Okay. What do you think this cost us? 4 sushi rolls. This is in downtown Denver. I should clarify that. Right. What do you think this plate cost us?
Well, I'm just glad you
Plus
came
or
back.
minus Taco Bell.
That's gonna be at least over $80.
Bacon, what do you think?
120.
Do you like sushi? 120 chance?
7.
This plate cost us $45.
What?
I swear to you, I have the best place to have sushi in Denver. And I have told so many people, and they're always like, I don't know, dude, that just seems wrong. And I have been now over 10 times to this place. If you are ever in downtown Denver off of 6th and Broadway, there is a place called Red Ginger. There's a Chipotle right there.
Yeah, I know
it's right by the Wizard's Chest, if you know where that's at. But it's called Red Ginger. And their motto is everything is 50% off every day. And I honestly think that's what deters people, because they're like, I don't know if we should eat that. But dude, every time we've gone, it's been like this. And like, I'm talking, we had apps, we had drinks, not alcohol drinks this time. But I bet you even with alcohol drinks, because I've done that before, and apps, we're still under $70. Like it is the best deal that I've ever had. So like, please check out Red Ginger in Denver. It was absolutely delicious.
Jose, what's
You gotta go to 6th and Broadway for that.
the jalapeno ones?
That's called the Tiger Roll.
What's the wrapping around it?
Soy paper.
Okay, good. Allie would like that. She doesn't like
my favorite one is the one in the middle with like
seaweed.
It was a tropical mayonnaise, which sounds like gross, but it was really good because it was avocado, mango, tropical mayonnaise, and it was coconut shrimp inside the roll.
Ooh.
I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty fantastic, the Hawaii roll. So shout out to Red Ginger. That was the best food of the week. And then afterwards, we went to Littleton to Rocker Bar, had some whiskey drinks, played a board game there. Lovely evening.
Yeah,
Even
date
though
nights are always good.
it was great. So that's what I had this week, man. Time for chance.
Well, Jose, I put in the chat. Do you see
I got
it? Okay. I did not know, and it's probably Fruity Pebbles' own fault. So they don't have a newsletter. If they had a newsletter, I'd subscribe to it and probably offer to write it, parts of it. But so massive shout out to Melanie at Gateway, because she found that these existed. I had no idea these even existed, and it's limited time. Not only limited time, they are exclusive to Walmart. You cannot get them anywhere.
That's because Walmart's the king of cereals.
That's how you know they're classy.
Correct. And they were like sold out everywhere except for this one Walmart marketplace that happened to be minutes away from Shannon's house. And so I was like, Shannon, look, I know this. Please, for the love of God. And because she's the best, she went straight over and got us 2 boxes of Fruity Pebbles waffles. And so what you are seeing here is it's craziness, because we just had the episode where we were talking about you cannot mix cereals. It's a terrible, terrible thing. How dare you mix these cereals? This was Fruity Pebbles mixed with Waffle Crisp, and they tasted exactly like blueberry pancakes.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Oh, stop. It's incredible. They were incredible. The only reason this is not like my new favorite cereal, it is absolutely top 5, is because it's gonna go away. And how do I say it's the best of all time if it only existed for 2 boxes worth? I'm not sure. It hit all 5 senses, and I am not joking in one bit when I say, literally, in my office around the corner, one of the other counselors goes, "Who's eating pancakes?" Like, I was like, that the smell was so good, and it was probably maybe even a little too overpowering, but it smelled like blueberry pancakes or blueberry waffles.
So, Papa Boy, I gotta stop you there. This isn't exactly like what the Kelsey brothers are saying. They were literally saying, "Let's just pour these things in." This is a collab.
This is a hybrid.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
this is not.
You're
this
right.
is not the
Question
same.
is, who eats cereal at work and who has milk in a bowl with a spoon at work?
Teachers.
You gotta bring that shit. You put it there. You
Bring it
store
all there.
Yeah.
And it was funny because, and this is just absolute sacrilege. One of my coworkers who tried it too, Molly, was like, she's like, "Yeah, it's great." She's like, "I had never had Fruity Pebbles though," and
Wait, who said that?
Molly. I don't think you know Molly yet. I passed out.
How old is she?
And our age, and I literally opened my cabinet drawer right next to me and pulled out the
Go have a bowl immediately. What the?
I was like, here, just take this home with you. I have 7 more.
I'm gonna have some Fruity Pebbles right now, actually, after this.
So, they were incredible, and I'm already talked too long about this, but the last thing I want to say that made them absolutely amazing was you got such an incredible combination of crunchy and soft, right? So waffles are soft, and you expect waffles to be soft, not crunchy. The first, maybe, because I would say it took me 7 or 8 minutes to eat this bowl. The first 3 or 4 minutes, it was a nice crunch. It was not Captain Crunch cut the top of your mouth crunchy.
You guys are haters.
It was just a perfect crunch. And then the last half, mushy, like you were eating waffles. I don't know how they did it. I feel like it's up there with, I don't even know, some of the
You know what else? You know what other cereal does that perfectly?
What's that?
Honeycomb.
So
That's fair.
Not unlike honeycomb, if you will notice on there. I think that's a really strong comparison because the shape is very, very similar. The size is basically honeycomb, because they were actually a little smaller than what like a typical waffle crisp was. But just marvelous, and massive shout out to Shannon for picking them up, and Melanie for bringing this into my world. So,
What
Chris
was
picks, Nissa,
too healthy?
Nissa, let's talk for a second.
By the way, boy, how did you see that these were in stock?
stock tracker. Yeah.
I'm looking right now. It's pickup not available, delivery not available. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm buying from a third party seller for $15 right now to try.
They had in Lakewood, you could get them delivered the other day. Yeah.
Well,
okay.
not anymore.
No, I was like, let me think of who I know who would drop what they're doing and go. No, she didn't do that. But it just popped up. I said, like, extend the radius to 50 miles. And it was like, Aurora, what?
We're driving 50 miles.
No, shit. It's literally minutes from Shannon's house.
Chance,
It's like,
do you think the cereal had that industrial strength varnish that Clark Griswold was working on Christmas Vacations?
it absolutely did.
Semi-osmotic, right?
Yeah.
It seals the coat.
Kiss my ass. Kiss his ass. Or sorry, I meant. But sorry, so it is too loud. See, okay. Just fantastic. And if you are lucky enough to get your hands on one, there is absolutely no way you will be disappointed. Period. They only come in family size too. The box is like this big.
It does. Gentlemen, this has been the Nerd Chat episode 1. This is only 170. Is that right?
172.
Oh, this is 171 on here. 172 Hi-Fi Rush 2 from the new Tango Gameworks. My name is Daddy Diwali. You can follow me at Daddy Diwali across all social media. You can follow did I say the show? You follow the Nerd Chat podcast on all social media. You can also check out Bubble Boy and myself on Project X Talk. We had a great time over there. Shout out to Kevin Ainsworth. Hopefully we'll have him and co-host Jam Pack Sam on the show. And also shout out to the chat. Banger Slanger coming in hot over there. Chipotle Bear, where can people find you?
You can find me on X platform, Chipotle_Bear. You can find me on Threads, Chipotle Bear. Happy to chat about games, guys. You know, we really, truly do live and breathe this stuff. And like Dan said, we're so grateful for the chat. Truly, you guys are the best part of our show. Don't get me wrong. We love each other. We are good friends. But you guys are what we love to do and drop everything we're doing and do this on Thursday night despite everything going on in life. So thank you. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting that like button, and if you have already subscribed, you know, tell a friend about us. We're trying to get to that magic 500 so we can do a little bit of monetization to grow a little bit. Again, we don't anticipate this is going to be our career, but we're only a couple years away from retirement at this point. Am I right, boys? So hopefully we can make it big by then and then just live that dream. Thank you all for joining us. Happy Thursday, and go play some games, guys.
Oh, you just happy Thursday. Good God. X Bacon Gaming, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter because I still refuse to call it X, even though I'm not a big fan of Twitter right now. We won't talk about political stuff. But thanks to the chat. You guys have been killing it. And you can find me on Steam as X Bacon Gaming as well.
And Bubble Boy and Seven, where can people find you?
Elbow deep in a bowl of fruity Pebbles Waffles, wherever they are. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As always, $15 box of cereal lovers. See you online.
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 Here? It's over. Go home. Go.
The Nerd Chat is an Xbox podcast celebrating all things gaming, food, and the good old days. You can follow the show at The Nerd Chat across all social media. The show was created by Daniel Wolenzik, and you can follow him at Daddy Diwali. The lead producer and co-host is Jose Martinez, and you can follow him at Chipotle_Bear. And former intern, recently promoted co-host Jason Jarrett can be found at X Bacon Gaming. If you'd like to find out more about the show, please visit nerdchatmedia.com. And as always, see you.